Hey everybody, it's your boy Shep Trades. My first video as Shep Trades. It's great to be here with a new rebrand. Nothing too new other than a different name. Same analysis, same sort of trades, just a different name, guys. I really appreciate all of you that have supported my channel to date. So the tradiest days are behind us. Felt it was a bit too gimmicky. I'm not gimmicky in real life, so why would I do that online? So appreciate all of you for your support so far, and here's a start to a new chapter. So I'm going to share here today the trend following trades that I'm looking to get involved with next week. So we'll look at the weekly trades first. The weekly is 4 hour here. So basically I've got heating oil, gasoline, natural gas, gold, copper, and coffee. Sorry, not copper, cocoa and coffee set up for long. So what I see is we're very oversold in alignment with the dominant 40 period weekly uptrend. So that's a 200-day uptrend, and then a 200-week uptrend. So very strong bullish trend and very oversold. So what I'm looking for here, I'll just go over the trades. Heating oil. So we see heating oil. Generally, we have an upsloping 40-week and 200-week. So basically, we're very oversold, or getting there anyways. Very oversold. I've pulled the anchored VWAP to the high that caused the oversold condition. So that's this black line here on the 4 hour chart. So what I'm looking for is for the bulls to step up and make a trend change, either through getting above and getting some follow through above the VWAP or the 20 period moving average. If I see that, I'll be able to take a long. On heating oil, the exact same setup here is in gasoline, upsloping 40 and 200. Even though the 200 is kind of flat, it is still sloping up slightly. Very oversold. Same thing, anchored VWAP. I anchor to the high that caused the oversold condition. So this is the high that led to this very oversold condition. So that's why it's important to me. So I want to see the bulls follow through above that or the 20 period moving average. Because of how aggressive the sell-off is, I'm not going to be looking for an aggressive target of up to here. I'd probably be looking for a mid-range trading into the middle of this range. Nat gas, we have on the front month, the September contract. We have upsloping 200 week and 40 week moving averages. We got fairly oversold here. We see we took out some lows here last week and just got bought up really quickly. So I anchored the volume weighted average price to the high that led to this oversold condition. So I want to see the week start next week with some follow through from the bulls. Already looks quite likely that we'll get the follow through above the 2 bars above the 20 period moving average. So that'd be enough for me to go ahead and take a long at the high there, and my stop would be somewhere down here below this anchored VWAP to this low, because if we do get this follow through from the bulls, this low becomes important to me, and I don't want to see this anchored volume weighted average price get violated. Gold is a very nice setup both on the weekly and the daily. So obviously, gold's super strong uptrend, right? Well, look at this, very oversold on the 4 period Williams percent R. So I have anchored to the high that led to this oversold condition, which is this high here. So we just need to see the bulls step up. Can they get above this 8 period or this 20 period moving average, the blue line, or the anchored VWAP? If they do, that would mean we're likely starting a new uptrend and would expect new weekly highs to get taken out. Cocoa, same kind of thing, uptrend, very oversold. Anchored VWAP, I anchored to the last up close, so that was this week here, closed up. That led to this very oversold condition. We look like we are maybe starting to get some follow through from the bulls here, not quite fully yet, but I'd like to see some follow through above this VWAP for me to go ahead and say, yeah, I'm going to get long. And my stop, I would likely just use the VWAP anchored to these lows, and because I don't want to see the price trade back below that if we are bullish. Coffee, same kind of thinking, strong uptrend. Even though we are making lower highs and lower lows now on the weekly, I still see the slope of the moving averages being very bullish. So marked off that last up close here that led to this oversold condition. That is an important level, so that's the anchored VWAP there. So I want to see the bulls step it up and get us above those, and if so, I go long. On the short side, we have a few currencies, the Aussie, the yen, and the New Zealand dollar. So downsloping moving averages, very overbought. Looking for one of two things to happen. I want to see the follow through from the bears below the anchored VWAP or the 20 period moving average on the 4 hour. And I also like to mark off this level here. So view on every interval there. So if we take out that low, that would imply some strong bearish momentum, and I'd be looking for some sells there. And Aussie is set up for sells based on COT and other fundamental indicators too, which is a nice confluence. So here we have down sloping moving averages, even though we are above it and above the 200-day moving average. Still, we're getting overbought a little bit, not very overbought, but still a bit. So I've marked the anchored VWAP to the low that led to this overbought condition. So that's an important one. So I want to see the follow through there. Same with the New Zealand dollar, down sloping moving averages, overbought. Anchored VWAP to the low that led to the overbought condition. I want to see follow through below those levels or the 20-period moving average. Bonds, same thing. Bonds are not as clear of a picture on the daily time frame, but I do like them on the weekly. We have strong downtrend, lower highs, lower lows. We're in a rally right now. Basically, what I've got here is I've anchored the VWAP to this low here because this is the last down close, down week here that led to this very overbought condition. Overbought conditions in a downtrend are nice sell opportunities. So basically, I want to see the bears get some follow through below there ideally, and I might consider taking a trade as well if we get follow through below the 20-period moving average and it starts to roll over. Same kind of trade here on the 10-year, there's the T-note, very oversold, although it is a lot stronger than the 30-year. We're above the 200-day moving average, the 40-week moving average here in red. So same kind of thinking though, anchored VWAP to the low that led to this overbought condition. So that's an important low. I want to see the bears reestablish their control there. And then on the softs, we have one set up here for shorts, which is cotton, overbought, very overbought in a dominant downtrend, although cotton is a shitty looking chart. I mean, it's just choppy, right? So not too much fun there from a trend perspective. Who knows, maybe it's breaking out, we're making a higher low now, going to make a higher high soon. But generally speaking, the low down close that led to this oversold condition, this low is important. That's where the anchored VWAP is anchored to. Want to see some follow through below there. So that's the weekly trades I'm looking at this week. So these charts will not change. This list will not change for the whole week. That's what I'll be working on, that list this week. The daily list will change every single day because every day we get new daily bars. But here's what I'm looking at, and they're all long setups to start the week. Heating oil is set up for longs. We have an upsloping 50-day and 200-day moving average and a 20-day. We're bumping into the 20-day, which is a classic Larry Williams bump and run setup because this was a COT setup. We got the trend change and we're bumping into it. We could expect another rally sometime pretty soon. We're also bumping into the year-to-date volume weighted average price, this pink line. And basically, generally speaking, anybody that bought below this is feeling pretty good. So if we get above this VWAP, anybody that's shorted is going to be feeling pain, which is good for us trying to long it. So can we get a few things happen? So the overbought daily bar that led to this most recent oversold reading is this Thursday's bar. So that's the important high for me. If we can get some hourly H1 follow through above that, I'll consider taking a long. Same setup on gasoline, upsloping 250-day and 20-day, even though we are well below the 20-day. In fact, we've had a bearish trend change on the 20-day. We had a follow through below the lowest low of these two bars below that blue line. So that is a bearish trend on the 20, but the 50 and the 200 still sloping up. So I'd still consider it. This one, we didn't get an up close on Thursday like we did in heating oil. So my relevant high for the anchored volume weighted average price is up here. So a lot more work to do for gasoline for me to consider getting involved. Soybean oil is set up for sells on COT, but based on just price action and trend following, I am hunting a long in heating oil. Soybean oil, guys. Sorry about that. I like a few things about it. We got a previous area of resistance, potentially acting as support now. We also have volume Fibonacci level and a 38% retracement here, confluent with that level. Strong uptrend, 20 period, 50 and 200 sloping up. The year-to-date anchored volume weighted average price is up. We're above it. The longs are feeling good and the shorts are feeling pain. So what I want to see is this is the most oversold bar that was not an inside bar. So that high is relevant to me. I'd like to see the bulls take that out. And for my daily trade, I would need to see the volume weighted, the bulls follow through above this anchored VWAP, anchored to this high, because this is the high that led to this oversold condition. So that's the work that the bulls have to do in order to get me involved. I'd be targeting at least a new high up here and then extension possibly up to around 60. Gold, just like the weekly chart, is set up for longs. Uptrend, we're below the 50 period moving average, but the slope is still up. The 200-day trend is up. So this is still a nice setup for me for longs. What I need to see as well, the high on Thursday led to this oversold condition. So this Thursday's highs where I've anchored the VWAP. I'd like to see the bulls get above that with some follow through, and then I'll consider taking longs in gold. Silver, same trade idea. I got trailed out on my stop here. I got long somewhere around here last week. It went up and then I trailed my stop, and then I got stopped out on Friday when it whipped down here. All of the metals got sold pretty hard on Friday. I'm still bullish. Got a nice previous area of resistance acting as support right now. We've also got this gap here I've marked with this rectangle. Nice potential area for support. And we sold off a little bit oversold here. So this high led to this oversold condition. That's where this anchored VWAP is. I want to see the bulls reassert their dominance above that to then take longs and then target up around 40, which would be the extension of this swing. Let's see where it would be exactly. It's just shy of 40, 39.61.5. So that's silver. Platinum, same thing. We had a sell off here on Friday, just like all the metals did. We started getting oversold. So uptrend on the 50 and 200 day is in an uptrend. Same with the 20 day. So every trend is in alignment here to the upside. So we want to be looking for longs. This is a previous area of resistance. Could expect it to act as support potentially. So this high led to this oversold condition. That's why it's important to me. I want to see the bulls reclaim dominance above that, and if so, longs up at least to this high, and then extension of whatever the short-term swing is would be the target. And then feeder cattle. Feeder cattle is set up for shorts, but we have not had a daily trend change to the downside. I missed this on Friday. I admittedly miss this and should be in this already because we did get the follow through above this VWAP. We have this VWAP here and then right here. So this trade theoretically should be in already with a stop somewhere around there and target up that new high. So if we do get a pullback to start the week, ideally we could trade down into these anchored VWAPs and we see the bulls defend them, and then we can get long and then expect to trade up to at least 314, and then extension would take us, let's just get my extension template here, take us up to around 328. So that's what I'm looking at in feeder cattle. That's what I'm looking at in on the daily chart to start the week. So that's all the trend following trades I'm watching right now. If you guys have questions about how to trade with the trend, you can shoot me an email to shepthetrader, SHEPTHETRADER@gmail.com. You can send it to my old email as well, tradiustrades@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to get you answers to your questions. And I have a free Discord where we discuss commitment to traders and trend following trading strategies. So if that's of interest to you and you want a community, hit me up. You know where to find me now. And hope you guys have a great week ahead. It's looking good, lots of nice setups. So I hope you guys are profitable this week and that it's a week of lots of money in the bank. So thanks, guys, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.